Hey, this is Max. Welcome back to another CSR2 video. I'm here with Tier 5 Crew Battle. My car is now ready to take down Shax, so that's what we're going to do today. It took me basically 2 seasons and a little more to get to this point. So I didn't rush this process, and I'm here partially because I'm pretty lucky with the recent event rewards throughout the last 2 seasons, having obtained basically a free T3 card that was very good, as well as getting the legend cards in T2 and some good luck in polling cars this season with PC Cup. Plus, I pushed myself into a milestone crew pretty early, and therefore I was already given a milestone car on top of everything else. So this account has gotten quite far and has decent amount of nice cars within a very short period of time. I'm quite happy with that. Now, with the LB Huracan Coupe, what I had to do was buy regular Huracans, strip them, and get parts. I was actually very lucky, and this sets me up for taking down Shax, because out of 5 stripped cars, I was able to get 2 stage 6s. That's actually very good statistically. I didn't expect this, but hey, I'll take what I get. Now, fusion-wise, obviously, you don't get that many per car, so I'm pretty low on fusion still, and I'm at 3742 upgrade. The good news, of course, is this car, and also, if you got the F12, they don't take a whole lot of upgrades to get to mid 11s to high 11s. Now, Shax is supposed to run somewhere around the 11.9, so you don't want to have a car that runs anything slower than 11.9. At the minimum, it should run 11.8. So don't rush, because that's going to be a big mistake, especially in Tier 5. Also, Tier 5 seems to have made me a liar out of myself, because I did finish the ladder, and the last race in the ladder was only a 12.2. That seems like the ladder is now setting you up for failure, because from my understanding, Shax runs 11.9. So unlike Tier 1 to 4, beating the ladder may not guarantee you will beat Shax. So take that and keep that in mind, that when you get to Tier 5 and take on Shax's crew, push your car a little further before you try to take him on in a pace race. The downside to the LB Huracan is that it is kind of hard to drive to beat Dyno. So I'm going to take on these guys, but you'll see that even though my Dyno's a 11.4, most likely I'll actually end up running around 11.5. It's just because this car is a little obnoxious when it comes to getting it to run perfectly. So it's just timing of the shifts and nitrous. Again, this is true of the regular Huracan as well. The shifts are kind of fast, and the car doesn't always run dyno. So you need to always make sure you upgrade it a little further than what it says on the dyno. Okay, actually that one turned out pretty good. I'll tell you, without any stage 6s, at full stage 5, with the fusions that I have now, the car dyno is 11.8 too. That sounds good in theory to take down Shax, but when I test drove it, I only ran a 11.98. That's, I think, what Shax is supposed to run. So you don't want to take them on with too little upgrades. You need to get those fusions in, get the time downs. And once you're in the 11.5s or 6s, you're safe. You're definitely going to be able to take down Shax, even if you make a little slight mistake during the final run. And as we've seen already through Tier 1 through 4, you're going to get the jitters when you get to Pink's race, because you know that a screw-up means you will never get that car for the rest of the time you play the game. So therefore, there's a little bit of stress there to perform, and oftentimes that can affect your performance. So get your car upgraded extra so that you definitely don't have a problem when you get to the final race. Don't cut it too close. It's not worth the one extra day faster to try to take him down and actually end up losing the boss car. His car, incidentally, we'll talk about more at the end here, but his car is not worth putting in fusions. It's unfortunately a fully built Tier 5 that is really, really slow. And it doesn't really beat dyno, and really you can't tune it that much either. So I've seen people elite it. I've seen people use it. I don't see a problem there because I may have to use it as a possible elite choice. But the bottom line is that it's not really a car that you should invest Koenigsegg fusions, which are pretty rare, when potentially in the future you may get a Koenigsegg that actually is quite good. Most of them in the game are quite good, except for his car. So save those fusions for now, especially considering you probably only have maybe one or even none. So don't even worry about putting any fusions in his car. And don't hang on to his car as your option for live racing because it's really not that strong for that purpose either. But should you collect a boss car? Always. I mean, that's why we play the game. We want to win the cars. Every car adds to your garage value, and it's nice to have in the garage to show off. So, yes, I do want to win his car. I just don't think that you should use it much once you get it. You can just let it sit and periodically look at it and say, hey, look, I got his car. How nice, right? So that's the idea. Now, we're getting close to finishing up the few crew races that are left. The beauty of this is you will get plenty of money in the last two races, and that technically sets you up for buying a license for Tempest 1, right? That's the whole idea here. Well, I'm going to spend that money before I try to buy the license for Tempest 1, and there's a reason for that, because once you get to Tempest 1, for that license, the value, I mean, the cost, I should say, of the license is determined by how much money you have plus the value of your garage. So the value of my garage is pretty high, unfortunately, because I have nice cars. But I can spend the money first and try to lock in a lower value for the actual license. That's the goal here. All right. So I'm pretty much on. So once I get to race 3, it's going to be one shot deal. Race 3, Pink's race, take his car. Let's find out what he actually runs. Again, I was surprised the ladder race was actually slower, which kind of, it's almost like Natural Motion kind of got you set up with the ladder races until tier 4 and then go, let's screw these guys now. If they rely on this, we're going to make it harder. Or maybe they adjusted Shax and now he runs slower. I don't know. But we're going to find out real soon. But I know he's not going to run that slow. That's the point. His car is still going to do about a 11.9, I would expect, for the Pink's race. For this race, of course, it's going to be something like a 12.3, 12.4. Usually it is much slower than the Pink's race. So let's see. Yeah, 12, almost 12.4.5, right? So this one's a lot slower. Now the next one's going to be a jump, and that's always the case. Let's see what happens now. Okay, so we took out his 3 races, and oops, now it goes right to Pink's. Took down Shax. All right, everybody congratulates you. Look how far we've come. Yay! Dude, you the man. I still don't like you. I'm a 7-foot tall idiot coming to take you down. Yeah, whatever, man. All right. So, who's that thug? What's Tempest? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's move on. Come on, guys. Let me get to this Pink's race here. The Tempest. And they used a 5 instead of an S. Yes. Right. All your green fusions will get me to the next level, I'm sure, Donna. Okay. All right. Shax. Okay, now he'll take the 400 gold. Blah blah blah. All right. Let's race. Never use super nitrous, and I'm gonna race anyway. So here we go. So this is the moment to find out what he's actually gonna run, which I know it's gonna be somewhere in the 11s, hopefully. I mean, high 11s. Okay, so I'm going to run 11.5 or so. I'm going to have a nice gap on him simply because I know my car's way faster and I won't lose. But let's see what he ran. That looks like his run's relatively slow, probably 11.98. 956. There you go. So this hasn't changed. I expected him to run this, and he did. And this is actually about 3/10 quicker than the final run in the ladder race. So therefore, at least for Shax, if you beat the ladder, you may not beat him. Keep that in mind. Okay, so now we have completed the what I consider to be the prologue of the game, the beginning of the game, to kind of get you set up as a new player. You have now taken down Shax, and everything from here on is going to be Tempest and daily and weekly events and all that fun stuff. Once again, don't buy the car. Okay, no star cars are never worth buying, especially for real money. Maybe later. You do have his car. As I said, his car comes fully maxed with no fusions. You can tune it, and it actually can go a little bit faster, right around what he ran against you. I think it stays here for the best tune, actually. Let me play with this a little bit. Now, so 11.9s probably is where he's going to be at. Now, with that car, though, if you're in a rush to Elite, I think this may make the Elite license as is. This is one of the cars you could Elite, and a lot of people do. But again, it's not ultimately going to be that useful as a car in live or in anything. So keep that in mind. If you Elite it, you're kind of wasting it. But then if you don't Elite it, you might wait another weeks before you can get a Elite car. So yeah, it's always a judgment call on everybody's part. Yes, buy more stuff from us, maybe later. Okay, now it's the Tempest. Now, before I click on this, because then they'll go into the licensing, what I'm going to first go do is make myself broke. Okay, because I will earn the money to buy the license soon enough when I play, but I'm going to need faster car to run Tempest anyway. So first thing I do is I spend everything that I just got from Shax, and I do so by buying more Huracan coupes. Okay, so Huracan, buy it, yes. Okay, then I still have 400,000. I'm going to spend that too. Um, you might be looking at this going, what are you doing? You're going to be broke. That's the idea. I want to go into Tempest license broke because the license is going to set up based on how much money you have. And the more moolah that you're sitting on, the more expensive your license is going to be. I'm going to earn money eventually anyway, so keeping the license value down is going to be in my favor. So I want that. So I'm going to spend the money somehow, but I want to spend it in a way that makes sense. I'm not going to go waste it. So what I'm going to do is either buy cars to strip, which will help get fusions, or I will upgrade a car that I will need eventually and do it that way. So it's going to be used in a way that makes sense. Don't waste money. I mean, obviously, as much as I'm trying to go broke here, I'm not going to go broke by just wasting it. I want to actually make use of the money in a smart way. Okay, so building the A-bars slowly but surely. So I'm going to have to go buy some A-bars. So that's one thing to spend on. So back to the dealership, we're going to spend some money buying the A-bars, which costs very little, incidentally. So it's not really going to put much of a dent in my overall money here, but every little bit counts. So I'll take that. Okay, so that puts me at 378. I'm going to need BMWs to continue to build my T3 BMW. So therefore, T2, I can go, wait, I think it should go the other way. Always quicker when you go this way. I can go this way, or okay, maybe not. All right, oh, here we go. So I'm going to buy the M235, one of these. I really don't like that color. Why is it always gray? I'll take a white over that any day. Alpine white. Okay, so yes, I'm buying a car to strip and I'm stressing over colors. Hey, it's the little things that counts in this game. You got to care about them. All right, so I bought a T2 BMW and I'm going to buy a T3 BMW because eventually I'm going to win a T3 BMW from Amelia, which uses every part from this BMW, and it happens to be 200,000, so I'm going to spend that and get that car. I have now put myself down to 100,000, and I am going to now push again back to tier 1 and try to buy some cars to kind of finish up my money here down to a very low level, which is going to be somewhere around, yeah, I would say 40,000. I'll go into Tempest with 40,000 and see what they charge me for the license. Okay. All right. So one more car. Probably going to have to be a T1. So I'm always going to end up needing Ford Fusions eventually. Therefore, I am going to buy a Ford. Buying this Ford and buying this Ford is really the same thing. So it doesn't really matter which one you buy. But the beauty of it is, of course, you could buy both and be really broke, and therefore have more Ford Fusions at the end, and I'm down to 16,000. So I'm going into Tempest with 16,000 in my pocket, and then I'm going to ask Jerry about those licenses, and let's see what they'll charge us. Okay, so Tempest time going in. Congrats, champ. Or yeah, okay, yeah. All right. So I don't know what 7 foot tall and drag racing has anything to do with each other. Most of the time, big heavy guys like that slows the car down. So keep that in mind. All right. Elite license needed. Look at that cost, 100,000. Now, this could have been $1 million. Okay. When I'm broke like this, though, it only costs you 100,000, and I don't have it. Right? I don't have it. But 100,000, just by doing map stuff today, I will probably get close. So that is why I spend all my money. So I can go into Tempest with a cheap license and then be ready to go. Now, by the time you get to Tempest 2, this isn't likely to happen because you're not going to want to spend all your money, which could be tens of millions at that point, all of it at once just to get a low price license. But for Tempest 1, you're probably likely to go broke upgrading your cars very soon after you get the license anyway. You might as well go for broke first, get the license cheap, and therefore get into Tempest at a lower price. All right, so that is taking down Shax and getting ready for Tempest. I am now going to go back, earn me some money, okay, and get started with Tempest. I will document my process of getting the elite license in the next video, so stay tuned. Let me know if you had any questions based on this video. If you had any comments, feel free to make them. If you liked the video, please leave a like, and if you like my channel and want to get notifications when I put up new videos, please subscribe so you can get those notifications. And as always, thank you for watching my video. I'll catch you next time.